Yo, what's good? It's your boy Lo, man. We are back for another episode of The World According to Lo, and I'm so excited to bring you guys this episode 55. Give me some claps. That's right. Got some claps in the building. I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited. Hey, man, it's been a lot going on. If you don't know, my name is Aloysius Ballard. I am a videographer, a creative director, a producer, all sorts of things. But the main thing I like to say is that I am an artist, right? So in that, with that being said, welcome to The World According to Lo. I created this podcast so that I could share my thoughts, talk to people that have made a profound impact on my life, people that I come across in my day-to-day, and I'm so excited to share them with you.
It's the world according to Lo, so act like you already know. It's gonna be a good show. It's the world according to Lo, so let's sit and grow. It's gonna be a good show.
So let's get into it, man. Episode 55. I haven't coming up with a name for this episode yet, but man, I just want to tell y'all what's going on, man. It's been challenging, to say the least, to keep these podcasts going, but I'm excited. And I made a goal for this year to not make excuses. And some of that is why I am a little frustrated at times with myself, because I get busy with work. I get busy with doing jobs and things of that nature. And a lot of times it causes me to not be able to sit down in person with guests like I love to do. And I end up sometimes just having to do these one-offs with myself. So what I think I'm going to start doing is, if I don't have a guest, and y'all tell me what y'all think. If I don't have a guest, I'm just going to talk about the things that I've come across that week, productions that I'm doing. And it'll be more like our one-on-one hangout sessions, so to speak. They'll still be around the world according to Lo. And of course, I cannot do any of this without the BEPS network, who gives us a great home for creatives and allows us to grow and build community. But that is also fueled, at least my portion of it, with the loyalty crew. Now, the loyalty crew is simply just those supporters of mine who go and sign up for patreon.com/Aloysius Ballard. And you can find that on my website, a link to do that. If you want to support, it starts as low as $5 a month. So it's less than a hamburger, and a good hamburger at that. I'm not talking about that junk. It's less than a good hamburger, but it helps me to make more productions like this. Also, I am in the production of a new podcast for the network, not including me. I'm just producing this one, and it is called Baggage Claim. Now, Baggage Claim consists of three wonderful women, Nija J, Kitty, and Kiki. And what they do is just talk from their perspectives. It's almost like having a talk with your mama, your auntie, and your grandmama, right? And it's just real down to earth, raw, uncut, topics that affect both sides, men and women, but they give you just a real raw, uncut topic. And a lot of times baggage, it means claim your baggage. A lot of times we, on our journeys, when we travel somewhere or we're going somewhere, we overpack. Sometimes we underpack. Sometimes we have to just own the baggage that we have. So claiming our baggage, however it comes, is just something that they talk about in a great way. So be on the lookout for that. Shout out to them and all of the success that they will have. Now let's get back to me. All right. So what have I been up to? So lately I've been shooting a lot. and it feels amazing. It feels like wonderful. Like I realize I'm at my best self when I am creating with my cameras. So recently, some of the things I've done, let's run them because I don't want to bore you with a lot of things that you may or may not want to know. But hey, man, I think they're exciting. So recently, I shot a live production of D. Saunders live at the Ground Zero Biloxi Blues Club. And it was an amazing show. We had multi-camera setups. It was a full band, horn section, drums, guitar, two keyboardists, bass. What else they had? Drums, bass, guitar, two keys, horn section, 3-4 background singers. D. Saunders is a soulful, old school singer. So it was a lot going on with him. Amazing sound. I think I'll be able to show you guys on Patreon a private viewing of that, because we produced this for distribution and sales. So he's going to be monetizing this show to be able to make money from it as an artist. So we came in, we did our thing. Show was amazing. Got to work with my boy Johnny Jones out of New Orleans, Slidell area. Amazing photographer. Brought him in, caught some amazing stills. I got to bring Johnny back to talk about the live element and the production that we do a lot of times in that scene, and some of his tips for that. So there's that project. And then we also had First Friday Biloxi. So First Friday Biloxi turned out to be a great event because it was an event where they invite local vendors, businesses. They bring out some local talent. The band was amazing. Unfazed Show and Band was there to perform, as well as another couple or another group. I don't know if they were a couple. Another band that consisted of, they all sang, but they had a violin and the guy played acoustic. So it was great. It was really kind of folksy country, but it was great music. And then I got to sit down and interview a lot of vendors at the event. I donated my time with that because I believe small businesses really have it hard trying to promote their businesses and brands. So my production company, Beyond Expectations Productions, we donated all of the video production towards the event to ensure that we were giving back to our community, and it felt great. I got to learn a lot about the businesses in this area that don't have a lot of commercial budget and things of that nature. So it was wonderful. Next, we also, what else? I went to Charlotte. Charlotte is a beautiful city, man. I want to say that. Let's big it up. Big it up for Charlotte. Yeah, man. Charlotte is beautiful. So I am a member of the fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And we had our conclave. So not only did I get to go down and enjoy my fraternity and my brothers, I also had the ability of capturing and documenting for one of my fraternity brothers who was in the midst of working with people such as Anthony Anderson, and we saw D.L. Hewley. I'm trying to think who else was there. It was like Miss North Carolina, some other like people that was there. Oh, Benjamin Crump, attorney Benjamin Crump, who is known as the lawyer right now of the rights movements and the justice movement across the country, getting justice for a lot of the racial disparities that we're seeing and killings that we're seeing. He's been a very instrumental voice in I guess you say his actions. So that was great. If you haven't, or if you're not aware of him, he has a documentary on Netflix about him, so you should look that up as well. And then what else I've been doing? Like just live productions, broadcasts, of course, developing the BEPS network, and we've been doing some cool little stuff, getting more at work. If you don't know, and I feel like I have such a lot of things that go on in my life, but I work for a Singing River Health System, and I am a digital coordinator there. So I also produce a podcast called Healthcare Self-Care Podcast for the system. And I sit down with a lot of doctors or practitioners, and we discuss, healthcare in a very candid way. So I've been producing a lot of content with that, but we've also been coming up with new ways to tell stories on social and like TikTok and whatnot. So just staying busy creating, and it feels amazing. Now, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you're currently doing while you're listening, but I want to encourage you to make time to feed your creativity. Okay. So how we introduce ourselves to things that feed us is such a major part of our development. Think about a newborn baby or a young child. What we do as an adult, you can go a little bit longer without eating, without dealing, or just having things at your beck and call. We can deal with hunger pains and fasting a lot longer than a child. So when you're in your development stage, it is imperative, right, for us to feed our creativity, for us to feed that maturity of what it is that we have going on. And with that, it takes repetition and us networking with people who can speak to that creativity in ways that we don't always think about. So that's one of the things that I love the most about being able to work in a collaborative space, is that I get to feed off of the creativity and the passions of others. So, that sometimes hinders my ability to have time to create in ways like this. So I always also want to encourage you to make sure you're making time to develop your time management. Now, let me give you some tips. Some of the tips that I have when it comes to me managing my time is utilizing a calendar properly. When you have a thought, if there's something you want to do, then you have to put it on your schedule. You have to make some type of reminder to do it. If you bet on yourself to remind yourself, then you're already losing, and it's half the battle down the drain. Okay. So I learned early on that a calendar, and I mean, just download Google Calendar, or if you're on an iPhone, use the calendar. You don't even have to type it out. You can say, we all know who she is on Apple, right? Say her name. And because I have too many Apple devices in my studio, if I say her name, they're all finna start doing stuff. So you know who I'm talking about. Say her name, and then, right, I want you to just set a date on my calendar or reminder on my calendar, or put on my calendar X, Y, and Z. If we're shooting a podcast every Monday, hey, put this on my calendar every Monday at 6, shooting a podcast, right? And then you can go from 6 to 7, schedule a time where you know that you will commit to regardless. I have reminders that 30 minutes, an hour out, 30 minutes out, 15 minutes out, because When I get sometimes at an hour, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to have time. I need to do something else. Then when it gets 30 minutes in, I'm like, okay, I can do this. Let me go ahead and just knock this out. 15 minutes, I'm like, all right, I need to go ahead and do this so that I can get this done. And it helps me to execute because I really want to stay creating. I owe it to myself to develop all of the things and gifts that are within me. And I want you to do the same, right? So this is what I've been doing, and this is where I've been. But I've also want to switch gears because I don't want to just sit here and blabble. I just gave you some points. If you missed them, go back 15 seconds. Make sure you understand everything I'm telling you. Hey, and creativity is important. If you think you don't have time, go to your calendar, find a small area of time. It can be 10, 15 minutes for starters, but commit to that, okay? So now we got that. We got that gym. You know what we're doing with that in this podcast. That's what we're working on. No excuses. We're getting things done. All right. So I want to switch gears a little bit because here's some things that I've been enjoying over since the last time we talked. I think I talk about this podcast a lot. One of the things I've been enjoying, I always enjoy, is the Joe Budden podcast. I don't know if you follow Joe Budden podcast, but Joe is the podcast king. I'm going to say it on the record. I think Joe is the podcast king, and I've seen Joe train multiple people now how to podcast. Like, this dude he will navigate a conversation like nobody's business. Even when they're on there, Joe just knows how to entertain, and he's been doing it for so long. A lot of people are new to the podcast space, and I'll say this. I was early on in the podcast game, but I was early on from a producer standpoint. You got to understand, I never really wanted to be in front of the camera. I didn't like it. That's why I wanted to control it. One of my favorite things I've ever read about video production was why be in the spotlight when you can control it? And that thing hit me. Spotlight changes based on actors or people who come to the stage, but you can be controlling the spotlight and always remain. So I always took that to heart because I said, it's like NBA talent or NFL pro talent. You can be the star today and be gone tomorrow. It's hard to get rid of a coach. Now a little different, but I'm saying coaching staff, it's easier for them to have a longer career than the people that are on the field. But now circumstances have changed where I am now in front of the camera. So I get to do both. Hey. But anyway, Joe Budden's podcast is something I enjoy all the time. I really enjoy, too, watching Country Wayne. A lot of times people don't understand how good Country Wayne is. Country Wayne is a comedian who has made his way by just being very consistent and shooting all of his production, I want to say, on a cell phone. And it's awesome to see. He creates these storylines based on his real life, in a sense, some of it dramatized, but he's Country Wayne within these, these skits. Oh, I don't even want to call them skits anymore. Like, they're real life episodes. They're just internet episodes. But Country Wayne is very entertaining. He's got this great team because they work every day. When I tell you there's a new video every day, and now I'm so hooked to it that I make sure I make time to go visit his YouTube and watch these videos. And they're no longer than 2-3 minutes, but they're great episodes. So those are some things I'm enjoying. What am I watching on TV? Because as a filmmaker, I think it's always important for me to be ingesting content. And one of the things that I've really been enjoying is a show on Apple TV called Loot that stars, oh my gosh, what's her name from Saturday Night Live? But she's super funny, Maya Randolph. I believe is her name. She has a great show. The show is about she gets divorced because she catches her billionaire husband, you know, hooking up, and he's been hooking up with the young assistant. But she takes all of this money from the settlement, right? And she goes at first and doesn't really know what they were like, what all she has access to, or all the things she's won in the divorce settlement. And one of the things she comes across is their nonprofit. So she goes and visited. She goes to visit this nonprofit and finds out that she has a new calling and purpose, which is to be a part of this giving back. Since she has so much, she's a billionaire at this point. So they show her growth from being just a scorned wife to actually coming off of her high horse to do some amazing things. And it's just great to see character development. I love when writers write about character development. It's just a beautiful thing. A lot of times people just focus on plots and just scenarios, but don't really give a lot of thought to how characters develop. That's another podcast, though. We can talk about that. But anywho, Loot is a great show. I've also been loving, oh my gosh, I love this season of The Chi. Now, The Chi is a show by Lena Waithe, who is an amazing, I don't know why my tongue feels like it's just all in the way today. Anywho, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know, anybody that knows me knows, like, bruh, yeah, what you see is what you get. Anywho, so Lena Waithe is a great producer, filmmaker, all of storyteller. She and Issa Rae are like killing the game right now. But The Chi is a beautiful show. If you haven't watched it, please go check it out. And the story writing in this season, oh my gosh, it's just, all of them are good. But this season, just seeing everybody develop, once again, great character development is something Lena is amazing at. Shonda Rhimes is another one that just really is great with that. But back to Lena. So The Chi this season has had me on a roller coaster of feels, and it's just good, man. It's shot beautifully, whatnot. And speaking of Chicago, I want to take 2 seconds to shout out my homie Nicole from Chicago. She just did a showing of the first principle of her film, Smoking Guns. And I know I'm really believing that this film is going to get picked up and somebody's going to buy it and fund it for her to finish this film. San has been grinding for a while. If you are listening to this, go check her out at San Nicole. I think her handle is at San Nicole, SANICOLE, on Instagram for sure, I believe, as well as all handles, I want to say. But she just released another film. She's a great film maker and storyteller as well. Chicago is kicking butt, man. What else have I been watching? Let's get a little music in here, man. What else have I been listening to or watching? Oh, dance music is back. I know a lot of people are giving Drake hell about that his latest record, but everybody now is jumping on this dance wagon. I think this is good to switch it up. Everything can't remain the same, man. Artists got to develop just like we do. I don't always feel like being in the same groove and mood that I've always been in. So it's good to change it up. I like the Drake album. I think it has its place. Is the drums and the dance vibe is really, really good. I'm enjoying Beyonce's record. Renaissance Act 1 is good. And I see Megan Thee Stallion just dropped like a dance track. So I think we're about to get some more of this dance music for a minute. And it's great. I didn't like the Brent Fayez, I think that's how you say his name, Brent Fayez. I didn't really care for his album like that, but I tend to do that at times. I'm gonna give it a couple more listens, just vibe to it, and see if I like that. Who else I've been listening to? PJ Morton. I'm still on that PJ. You know, I'm actually trying to get to that show. If I can get to that show, it'd be great. But yeah, let's see. I've been listening to that mostly. That's kind of been where my rotation is. Also, my boy Nick has put me on his Asian playlist on Spotify. So I've been appreciating, man, they have some incredible artists too. We really need to expand out, make sure we listening to all countries and all kind of stuff. It's a lot of great artists in this world. And overall, other than that, man, I've been kind of getting back on Twitch, playing video games. Listen, let me say this. I'm a nerd, bruh. Like, I know a lot of people shy away from that, but I'm a nerd. I just happen to be very savvy with random types of people. So I can get in all circles and be straight. But overall, I love technology. I love doing a lot of things that are nerdy, video games, all that stuff. They help me decompress and whatnot. So right now I'm playing Destiny 2. That's a great game. I always fool with Call of Duty, but I also like playing games like Destiny that give me more of a new storyline or plot or campaign that I can fool with. Been back on Fall Guys. My son has me playing with him. He and I are playing Cupheads, which is man, listen, that game had my nerves so bad. Lord Jesus. Lord, my nerves was bad on that game because we just kept struggling. But we're rolling on it now, so we've been playing that. And yeah, man, just getting out, eating good food. My wife and I, we hit the like farmers market and different things to just switch up the palette of what we do and who we are. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all checking in. I'm trying to think, man, is there anything else I need to let y'all know going on? Man, look, I'm starting to post more to my website, blogging again. And if you like writing and stuff like that, man, hit me up, man. Let me know something. Give me some tips. Writing is like the antithesis. Why can't I talk today? Writing is like the antithesis of what we do with video and film. So instead of writing, we'd rather capture it and show you. But writers write and videographer, I guess. Anyway. But yeah, man, so give me some tips on writing, man. But I say that to say, make sure y'all check, the blog out on my website and see what we got going. And I really appreciate that. Once again, man, I know y'all don't have to listen. I look at my numbers sometimes and I see it fluctuates, but I know that's because I'm not always able to always meet a weekly podcast. So I'm really trying to do better with that. But for the ones who listen, even if this is your first and last time, I thank you, man. I really appreciate you just giving me a listen. I take critique too, man. Tell me what I can do to improve, because I love this. It's therapeutic for me, but I also want to make sure I'm doing something that adds value or being entertaining. Even if I can make it funny, if I can make you laugh, or if I can make you feel better about your day, that's what I do. That's what I love. I like to motivate people. I like to see people win. And man, don't we need a little more love and joy in this life? So I try to add to that as well. So, man, my name is Aloysius Ballard. Once again, you can find me on all platforms. Just search me at Aloysius Ballard, and I should populate somewhere. There's not a lot of people. The only person that has my name is my nephew. And, yeah, you can tell I'm the older one. So, anywho, man, thank y'all for pulling up. Thank y'all for listening. And listen, if you don't know that you're loved, that you matter, I'm telling you right now. And I don't want to end it on a super mushy thing, but I really want some of y'all to know that you matter, man. I am so excited that you decided to pull up and be with me on this podcast. So show up again, man. Keep showing up for me, and I promise to show up for you, okay? Until next time, man, it's your boy Lo. Peace.